The main question arises, what is Consumer Protection Act? When was it formed? Consumer Protection Act was formed in 1986. Consumer Protection Act 1986 has been presented as an important act in the history of India. It provides protection to the consumer. It was passed by the Parliament in 1986 and came into force with effect from 1st July 1987. This act extends to the whole of India except the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Because beta, when the book was written, Jammu and Kashmir was not a part of the country, but now it has been changed. So all the rules and regulations are applied there also. It was amended in 1993 and 2003. It covers all the goods and services. Two amendments means two changes, two times changes have been made. The Act provides for the formation of consumer protection councils both at the center and in the states. The council has official and non-official members. The objectives of these council is to protect the interest of consumers. They said that we should have the councils at state and national level. There is a mention of some rights of Consumer Act. We have studied the rights of Consumer Act and a detailed description of these rights is given in the chapter which we have studied. So what are the silent features of this act? Silent features of this act. The scope or features of the Consumer Protection Act 1986 can be made clear with the help of following points. First is coverage of items. This act is applicable on all the products and services. All the products and services comes under it. Coverage of sector. Which sector is covered by Consumer Protection Act? This act is applicable to all the areas, whether private, public and corporate. All type of products and services, all areas, private, public, cooperative. Compensatory nature provisions. Many acts have been passed for the help of consumers. Consumers enjoy the benefits of these acts, but if a consumer wishes, the Consumer Protection Act can provide extra help. As a result, the nature of consumer provision of this act is compensating for the loss or providing extra help. Consumer is totally free to enjoy the benefits provided in this act. Then bache, group of consumer rights. This act provides many rights to the consumers. These rights are related to safety, information, choice, representation, redressal, education, etc. We have studied. Effective safeguards. This act provides safety to consumers regarding defective products, dissatisfactory services and unfair trade practices. Everything is covered under these provisions. So under the purview of this act, there is a provision to ban all those activities which can cause risk to consumer. There should be no activity which can cause a risk to consumer. Three-tier judiciary system is provided to you: district forum, state commission, national commission. Then time-bound redressal. A main feature of this act is that under this, the cases are decided within a limited time period. Not like other courts. Other courts are working means 20 years cases are still pending, but here it is not done. There is a time limit for solving the consumer cases. Consumer Protection Council. To favor consumer protection and to encourage consumer awareness, there is a provision in this act to establish consumer protection councils. Councils are made on the basis of consumer protection. Act have provided the formation of them. So these are the main features of Consumer Protection Act 1986. Now main provisions. These were the features, now the provisions. Meaning of consumer. Who can file a complaint? Who is a consumer? Any person who buys any goods for a consideration. If he is paying something which he has paid or promised or partly paid and partly promised, or under any scheme of deferred payment. If a person have purchased, either it is cash purchase or credit, or long term installment or short term installment basis, anything covers under this act. Any person who hires or avails of any service for a consideration, not only the goods, services are also included in the provision of this act. Then bache, ground for complaint. What should be the ground for complaint? Under restrictive trade practices, unfair trade practices. Unfair trade practices means to adopt a faulty way to gain excess profits by a trader. For example, to launch gift schemes despite either the cost of the gift is added in the original value of the product. They are giving you free gift, but the value is added in the value cost of the product. To not follow the prescribed standards, they are not producing the product as per the standard. To resort to hoarding, they are hoarding the goods, and even in case of availability of the product, not selling in the market to the consumer. If they are not selling, though they are having the product but they are not selling, this is called hoarding. So these are unfair trade practices. Now what is restrictive trade practices? Restrictive trade practices means selling goods and services on some conditions to consumers by the traders. For example, a car seller sells car on the condition that along with the purchase of car, one has to buy an insurance policy also. In the same manner, if a gas agency, while giving a gas connection, puts a condition to buy gas stove also from him, then this is a good example of restrictive trade practices. Nobody can force you to buy anything. This is restrictive. Now, defective goods. A consumer can file a complaint against defective goods. Defect may relates to the quantity, quality, potency, or purity of the product and are not in accordance with related to act or contract. For example, in a packet, if quantity of material is not the same as originally written on the pack, suppose you have purchased a packet of namkeen, it is written that the namkeen is containing 200 grams of product, but on measuring you know that you came to know that there is only 150 grams. So this is defective goods. Then deficiency of services. Under this act, the consumer concerned can file a complaint against defective services. For example, unnecessary delay in providing loans by the bank. If bank is not providing you loan on right time, this is deficiency of their service. Unnecessary delay in giving final touches to the claims by insurance companies. They are not giving you claim of insurance on time. Unnecessary delay in supplying the goods by the transport company. Wrong billing by electricity and telephone departments. This is also a deficiency of service. You can go to consumer court for them. Excessive charging of price. Consumer can lodge a complaint against excessive charging of price. Excess charging means overcharging in the following cases. Price written on the packet of the product. Sometime product on the packet it is written rupees 10, but so it happens with the cold drinks beverages written less, but they are charging high just because that they are providing us the cold drinks, not the hot one. Sometime it happens. Then price written on the product and price decided by any act. They can't charge high from us. For example, if a bookseller charges rupees 200 for a book which has its market value rupees 150, then it is a case of charging excess from the market price. Then bache, last is supply of hazardous goods. Hazardous means those goods which are dangerous for the life of a human being. If the product which can prove hazardous for life are sold without proper information, then the victim concerned can lodge a complaint. Some of the hazardous products are like pressure cooker, electric appliances and cooking gas, etc. These are some goods which can be hazardous for the life. So necessary instructions and precautions should be written on them. If not written, then the person concerned can go to the court for filing the complaint. So these are the grounds on which complaint can be lodged. If the producer is giving some unfair trade practices, restrictive trade practices, if goods are defective, if services are having some deficiency, if the producer is charging excess profit, excess price and supply of hazardous goods without any detail, on these grounds you can file complaint in Consumer Protection Act 1986. You can go to Consumer Court. Then other provisions, there is three-tier judiciary system, judicial machinery, three tiers. You have already studied district forum, state commission, national commission. Complaint disposal period, this is very important.